Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Welcome if you are new. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe as we talk current events through the lens of the Word of God. Let's get to it.
God knows 31 reasons you were called to be a woman of God, virtuous woman he needs. God knows 31 reasons. 31 reasons why. God knows 31 reasons you were called to be a woman of God.
There's so much I want to share concerning the USAID, but first, let's hear from Marco Rubio.
The goal of our endeavor has always been to identify programs that work and continue them, and to identify programs that are not aligned with our national interests and identify those and address them. So we have sent out guidance to those deployed abroad that they will be on leave of absence, not fired, leave of absence as of Friday. And then we made very clear in the message, it's there and it's written in the message that was posted, that if there are exceptional circumstances regarding family or displacement, or maybe their spouse is employed in the embassy, so they're co-located and their children are in school, there's room and space for that. We also made clear in the guidance that there would be specially designated programs that would not be a part of that order. And we are working through the process of identifying them now, what those specially designated programs are, and we will continue to work through the process of finding them.
I believe it was really generous that Trump administration gave them leave of absence with pay, considering the fraud, waste, and abuse that was evident. Like Elon put it, this USAID foolishness was all worms, no apples, all worms. Let's continue.
But this is the only way we've been able to get cooperation from USAID. I had preferred not to do it this way. When we tried to do it from the top down by getting cooperation from the central office of USAID, what we found instead are people trying to use the system to sneak through payments and push through payments despite the stop order. We found people that were uncooperative in terms of giving us information and access, all very consistent with some of the things we experienced while we were in Congress. And so we've had to do this other route instead. But we are going to do foreign aid. The United States will be providing foreign aid, but it is going to be foreign aid that makes sense and is aligned with our national interest.
You know, I have to say that I've been impressed with Marco Rubio thus far. I'm in Florida, and he didn't necessarily have raving reviews out here as our congressman. As I said before, they were completely generous when it came to leave of absence with pay. When you have people still trying to push through questionable payments despite the stop order and unwilling to give information or access to the systems as they were requesting, I wonder why this is, right? It's not rocket science to know what they were up to. Let's get into the fact sheet called "At USAID Waste and Abuse Runs Deep," strictly from the whitehouse.gov. For decades, the United States Agency for International Development has been unaccountable to taxpayers as it funnels massive sums of money to the ridiculous and in many cases malicious pet projects of entrenched bureaucrats with next to no oversight. Here are only a few examples of the waste and abuse. $1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities. $70,000 for production of DEI musical in Ireland. $2.5 million for electric vehicles for Vietnam. $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. Okay. $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. $2 million for sex changes and LGBTQ activism in Guatemala. Are y'all seeing the trend here? They're trying to weaken the world, not just the USA. Now, remember, these are funds going abroad, all right, through breaking down the nuclear family. When you have men transitioning into women and vice versa, they're promoting that this is normal. They're trying to normalize it, you guys, intentionally trying to get rid of the first institution that God created, which is family, right? One man and one woman, where he has told us to be fruitful and multiply and bring forth righteous seed. I can see clearly that they want to rid us of this completely, of God's intent for mankind. And if you've ever read on Sodom and Gomorrah, God doesn't pray for these people, right? He destroys them. 6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a nonprofit linked to designated terrorist organizations, even after an inspector general launched an investigation, millions to Eco Health Alliance, which was involved in research at the Wuhan lab, funding to print personalized contraceptives, birth control devices in developing countries, hundreds of millions of dollars to fund irrigation canals, farming equipment, and even fertilizer use to support the unprecedented poppy cultivation and heroin production in Afghanistan, benefiting the Taliban. The list literally goes on, and it has all been happening for decades. Under President Trump, the waste, fraud, and abuse ends now. Now, most of us can see through this obvious, flagrant agenda our taxpaying funds have been going to for decades. It is very apparent we are funding our own demise through terrorist organizations and population control. I wasn't happy about how they treated Trump and his family, but it has set a fire, and I mean a blazing fire, under him to bring all this corruption down. This is why I truly believe Trump was able to endure such tyranny, because he has been called by God, period. Point blank. There's no question about it. And he's also given us an opportunity to see our government for what they really are, you all. Some of us are going to close our eyes to this and truly deflect from the actual degradation that's happening. And some of us are wide awake to the propaganda. Truly, Trump has been called for a second term by the grace of God upon America and yea, the world. Let me know what you think and what your thoughts are in the comments. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.